Keith Thompson once again. Welcome to video 2 and press release recipe, and this is the first part of the press release that you really need to think about. This is most PR people will tell you that the headline and first paragraph are the most important parts of any press release, whether it's online or offline. So offline, just to recall the first video, offline is usually to journalists, although you can actually put press releases online as well and promote them offline at the same time. And online, if you're going direct to maybe a press release site like WebWire or PR Web, it's just as important to get your first line and headline and your first paragraph spot on. Now, this little exercise is not going to cover everything. There is a learning curve involved here. But if you can get your keywords into the headline and into the first part of your press release, then you stand a better chance of getting into the high end of the search engines and top 10 of Google and Bing and Yahoo as well. So let's just have a look at how press release works for you. If we just scroll down and we just put, as we did in the first video, we look at the year of the press release and the date of the press release. Let's go to 2013. Okay, let's make it 2012. There's a drop-down list there, so you can change this at any time. Now, this is the crucial part, is the headline of your press release. Now, the first thing to bear in mind, and this is not a caption competition, the biggest mistake people tend to make with press releases is they think it's some form of caption competition where you have to be witty, where you have to think of a headline that's going to be entertaining. There's an element of that, but really, as far as journalists are concerned, in order to catch the eye of a journalist, they just need to find the angle. They need to be able to identify the angle, where you're coming from, in other words. If we look at something like weight loss, so that's just another feature of press release recipe, is that I've typed in something earlier on just to do a demo for myself for this thing, and there is a memory aspect to this. So when you type in, you're not typing it in, you can actually highlight it and put it there. More on that later. I put weight loss as my headline of the press release. Okay, so sorry, just get rid of that again. Weight loss is my keyword. I may want to be a little bit more specific because that's such a competitive keyword. Let's just put weight loss Georgia as our starting point. Then we can mess about with this. We can get weight loss Georgia into our headline quite easily if we think about it. If we have a survey, for example, we have access to a third-party survey, or we produce a survey ourselves on our websites, we can actually put the results of that survey into the headline. Journalists love surveys, they love third-party statistics. Let's just try this for the purposes of this video, just quickly, so we can see what I'm talking about. Weight loss is the #1 talking point for women in Georgia. Pint. No, it's not a pint, it's not a drink. Okay, Georgia. Perhaps a little bit bland. What about weight loss? Let's think about this for a minute. Weight loss is the #1 talking point for women in Georgia. And sex came #2. Or we could say weight loss. Let's just get Georgia in there. A little bit clumsy, that headline. Not liking it a great deal. Just not quite as impactful as I would like. So let's get rid of that. We've got weight loss. We've got to get Georgia in here, so let's think of something else. Weight loss is that's a little bit better. That's a little cleaner, more concise. When you think about it, weight loss, not sex. Let's face it, sex sells, not just in PR but advertising and in all sorts of communication. Get that into the headline and you do it pretty well. I'm not saying do that every time, but this is just one example of how it could manifest itself. Okay, so and in paragraph 1 we want what's the main benefit? What keywords would you like to use for online? Sorry, let's just keywords first. Weight loss is your right. So weight loss Georgia is your. Let's see, that's come up there as your in the memory there. So why is the product or event or news important for the reader? Why would a reader want to read this? We need to get away from what you want to say to what the reader wants to read. You have to think in the mind of your target audience, think of the way they react to your previous emails perhaps. What kind of audience, know your audience, what kind of thing would they want to be reading about and this will manifest itself as the benefit of your product. Okay, so this is vitally important. What is it that makes this product sing to that specific target audience? There may be a number of things, but let me choose one. Weight loss. Let's just weight loss came out on top in a recent survey of women in Georgia. We can always tidy this up a little bit later on. Not quite altogether happy with that sentence at the moment. But we know already with press release recipe we can mess about with this in the next stage, is where we get to the PDF stage, and then on from that on to the editing in rich text format or Microsoft Word or whichever text format, whichever software you're using. And then let's just make up a product name here, Weight. And who will it benefit mainly? Let's go as far as there. Women 18 to 30. How's that? That's come up as a in the memory. And when will this event take place? Well, we'd probably say something always later than the press release is dated to September. How will the product be launched? Let's say online website. That's come up there. And where will the product be launched? Worldwide. Anybody can buy this. Or if there's a restriction, it could be worldwide. Let's just, for the purposes of the restriction, USA only. Just for the purposes of the. And we can, once we've done that, this first part here, we've gone some way to creating an impact in the first paragraph. We've got our keywords. We have our headline. We have our date, so it's newsworthy. We have our angle. We have our product name in there. We have our demographic in there. We have a headline, and we have a semblance of a first paragraph, which we can then work some words around. Okay, so in the third video, we'll be looking at the next parts of a press release recipe down to the contact details there. See you in the next video.